Hello everybody. Today we are going to discuss about the primary sources of microorganisms in food. Raw materials and ingredients are the primary sources of food contamination. Although muscle tissue is generally considered to be sterile, exposed muscle quickly becomes contaminated during the slaughter or dressing process and supports the growth of spillage microorganisms as well as pathogens. The major sources of microorganisms includes air, water and soils which support microbes, origin of microbial flora of foods including natural and raw food, acquired during handling and processing and introduced for processing. The role of microorganisms: there are useful microorganisms, spillage microorganisms and pathogenic microorganisms. The bacterial pathogens that are most likely to be found in livestock and poultry include Salmonella, Campylobacter and L. monocytogenes. L. monocytogenes also is widespread in the environment. E. coli also are found in livestock and poultry, but most strains are not pathogenic. The pathogenic E. coli of primary concern is known as E. coli 0157H7 and is found in beef. Some strains of non-0157H7 sugar toxin producing E. coli are becoming recognized as an important cause of foodborne illness. Y. enterocolitica is a pathogen most commonly associated with pork. Only certain serotypes are pathogenic. Some bacteria such as C. perfringens and C. botulinum also can be found in meat and poultry, forming spores that may survive cooking and increase in numbers in foods due to temperature abuse. Though Clostridium botulinum may be found in far fewer numbers than say perfringens, B. cereus is another spore former of concern in meat and poultry products, especially products containing dry ingredients or spices, which are a common source of the spores. Then we will discuss about microorganisms in green plants, fruits and vegetables. Natural source flora of plants varies with the plant but usually includes species of Pseudomonas, Alkanogens, Flavobacterium, Micrococcus, coliforms and lactic acid bacteria. The number of bacteria will depend on the plant and its environment and may range from a few hundred or thousand per square centimeter of surface to millions. For example, surface of well washed tomato contains 400 to 700 microorganisms per square centimeter. Outer tissue of unwashed cabbage contains 1 million to 2 million microorganisms. Inner tissues of cabbage contain only few microorganisms. Exposed surface of plants become contaminated from soil, water, sewage, air and animals, so that microorganisms from these sources are added to the natural flora. Whenever conditions for growth of natural flora and contaminants are present, special kinds of microorganisms may increase. Some fruits have been found to contain viable microorganisms in their interior. Fruits and vegetables are gathered into boxes, lugs, baskets, trucks during harvesting, and they are subject to contamination with spillage organisms from each other and from the containers unless these have been adequately sanitized. Mechanical damage during transportation to market may increase, susceptible to decay, and growth of microorganisms may take place. Soaking, washing by agitation tend to distribute spillage organisms from damage to whole foods. Recirculated or reused water is likely to add organisms and the washing process may moisten surfaces enough to permit growth of organisms during a holding period. Washing with detergent or germicidal solutions will reduce numbers on the foods. Sorting spoiled fruits or vegetables or trimming spoiled pods removes microorganisms, but additional handling may result in mechanical damage. The spraying gives a fresh appearance to the vegetables and delays decomposition but also adds organisms. In the processing plant, the fruits and vegetables are subjected to further contamination. Sweating of products during handling increases microbial numbers. Equipments or instruments may add microorganisms during processing. Wooden surfaces are difficult to clean and sanitize and therefore are especially likely to be sources of contamination. Hot water blanching reduces total number of organisms on the food, but may cause the building of spores of thermophilic bacteria, causing the spoilage of canned foods. For example, in flat sore spores in peas. Buildup of populations of microorganisms on equipment as a result of microbial growth may greatly influence the amount of contamination. Inclusion of decayed pods of fruits increases the number of microorganisms in fruit juices. Added ingredients such as sugar and starch may add spoilage organisms, especially spores of thermophilic bacteria. Vegetables and vegetable products are a common concern in the processing of meat, poultry and processed egg products. A good example is the processing of frozen entries, salads, etc. that contain meat and poultry components. Dried herbs and spices can be a primary source of bacterial spores, since the spores will survive for extended times in the dehydrated product. Soya and milk protein ingredients also can be sources of spores. Now we will discuss about microorganisms in cereal and cereal products. While growing also adds contamination from soil, insects and other sources, freshly harvested grains contain a few thousand to millions of bacteria per gram and several 100,000 more spores. Bacteria are mostly in the families Pseudomonas, Micrococcus, Lactobacillus and Bacillus. There is a possibility of contamination during other procedures such as blending and conditioning. For example, wheat flour contains spores of Bacillus, coliform bacteria, Achromobacter, Flavobacterium, Sarcina, Micrococcus, alkali genes and Serratia. Fungi include Aspergillus, Penicillium, Alternaria and Clostridium. Wheat flour from retail market contain 100 to 106 bacteria per gram and 20 to 30 Bacillus spores per gram, 50 to 100 mold spores per gram. Patent flours contain lower counts. Caramel and flour contain 100 to several thousand bacteria and molds per gram. For example, Fusarium and Penicillium are the dominant molds in these caramel and flours. The surface of a freshly baked loaf of bread is practically free of viable microorganisms, but they are subject to contamination by mold spores from the air during cooling and before wrapping. During slicing, contamination may take place from microorganisms in the air, on the knives or on the wrapper. The contamination of grains and cereal products with molds has become a significant concern because of the presence of aflatoxins. These aflatoxins are produced by Aspergillus flavus and Aspergillus parasiticus. Now we will discuss about the microorganisms in sugar and sugar products. Among the sugar and sugar products, sucrose is the most important product. Generally, raw juice from sugarcane may be contaminated with microorganisms during processing. Mainly, contamination occurs from the adhering soil particles to the sugarcane and include slime producers. For example, Leuconostatic and Bacillus, Micrococcus, Flavobacterium, Alkaligenes, Xanthomonas, Pseudomonas, Irvinia, Enterobacter, and yeast include Saccharomyces, Candida, Pichia. Much contamination may come from debris or fine particles on the sides or joints of troughs at the plant. Sedimentation, filtration, evaporation, crystallization, centrifugation in the processing of sugarcane juice reduces number of microorganisms by these processes, although spores of thermophils may be added from equipment. During refining of sugar, contamination may come from equipment. Sometimes organisms are added during bagging. In the manufacture of beet sugar, cleaned beets are sliced and sugar is removed by a diffusion process at 60 to 85 degrees centigrade. Sources of contamination are water and diffusion battery waters. Thermophils may grow up to 70 degrees centigrade in diffusion battery waters. Granulated sugar now on the market is very low in microbial content for the most part and ranges from few to several hundred organisms per gram, mostly bacterial spores. Next comes maple syrup. Sugar maple sap in the vascular bundles is sterile but becomes contaminated from outside sources in the tap holes and by the spout, plastic tubbing and buckets or other collection vessels. Microorganisms entering sap are mostly psychotropic, gram-negative rats of Pseudomonas, Alkaligenes and Flavobacterium and yeasts and molds. Paraformaldehyde tap hole pellets are inserted into the dried hole to prevent microbial growth from blocking the flow. Bacteria counts in sap are usually less than 10,000 per milliliter, but higher numbers can develop as a result of warmer temperatures near the end of the season and poor sanitation. Then with regard to honey, the chief sources of microorganisms in honey are the nectar of flowers and honey bee. Yeast have been shown to come from the nectar and from the intestinal content of the bee. Bacteria may come from intestine of bee. Honey rarely contains Staphylococci enteric bacteria. Commonly isolated are acidophilic and glycolytic yeast. Honey has been found to contain lysozyme, that is lytic effects on most gram-positive bacteria. Use of antibiotics such as neomycin and streptomycin is widespread in beekeeping, and these antibiotics have been found in the honey obtained from treated larvae and bees. Honey is one of the suspected food vehicle for the source of Clostridium botulinum spores in cases of infant botulism. About 10% of the suspected honey samples contain viable spores. Gluconobacter and Lactobacillus are the two main types of bacteria present during maturation of nectar to honey. Now comes candy. Candies from retail markets contain 0 to 2 million bacteria per piece. Especially they contain coliform bacteria. Candies receive most of their contamination from their ingredients, air, dust and handling. Chocolate candies have been incriminated in case of salmonellosis. Cross contamination occurs in the plant between raw and roasted cocoa beans. Low moisture content or the dryness of the chocolate apparently protects the salmonella from heat. Then we will discuss about the microorganisms in milk and milk products. On the farm, milk contains relatively few bacteria when it leaves the udder of a healthy cow. Micrococci and streptococci found in aseptically drawn milk. During the normal milking operation, milk is subjected to contamination from the animal, especially the exterior of the udder and adjacent areas. Bacteria found in manure, soil and water may enter from this source. The two most significant sources of contamination are dairy utensils and milk contact surfaces, including milk pail or milking machines, strainers, milk cans or pipelines, bulk milk cooler. Undesirable bacteria from these sources include lactic streptococci, coliform bacteria, psychrotrophic gram-negative rods, thermomodurix. Those which survive pasteurization includes micrococci, enterococci, bacilli and brevibacteria. In general, these bacteria grow well in milk and hence endanger its keeping quality. Other possible sources of contamination are hands and arms of the milker or dairy workers, air of the barn or milking parlour, flies. The number of bacteria per milliliter of milk added from the various sources depends on the care taken to avoid contamination. For example, exterior of the cow contributes comparatively few organisms if precautions are taken and a milking machine is used, but under very poor conditions thousands per milliliter could enter the milk. Tanker truck, transfer pipes, sampling utensils and the equipment at the market milk plant, cheese factory, condensery or other processing plant are some of the sources of contamination of milk and milk products. Pipelines, vats, tanks, pumps, valves, separators, clarifiers, homogenizers, coolers, strainers, stirrers and other fillers are some of the equipment that are used in the milk processing industries which act as sources of contamination of the products. The employees, particularly their hands and arms, the paper stock used for packaging fluid milk also contribute for the contamination. Then we will discuss about the microorganisms in fish and fish products. Microbial flora of living fish depends on the water in which they live. Slime on the outer surface of fish contain Pseudomonas, Acinetobacter, Moraxella, Alkaligenes, Micrococcus, Flavobacterium, Carnibacterium, Sarcina serratia, Vibrio and Bacillus. Bacteria on fish from northern waters are mostly psychrophiles, whereas fish from tropical water plus species of Aeromonas, Lactobacillus, Brevibacterium, Alkaligenes and Streptococcus. Intestines of fish from both sources are found bacteria of the genera Alkaligenes, Pseudomonas, Flavobacterium, Vibrio and Bacillus, Clostridium and Escherichia. Boats, boxes, bins, fish houses and fishers soon become heavily contaminated with these bacteria. Oyster and other shellfish contain Alkaligenes, Flavobacterium, Moraxella and Acinetobacter. These fish trash water bodies and pick up soil and microorganisms. Number of microorganisms on the skin of fish can be influenced by the method of catching. Trawling fish nets along the bottom for long periods results in exposure of the fish to high bacterial contamination in the sediment. Fish cakes and fish sticks may have contamination from potatoes, spices and flavorings. Now we will discuss about microorganisms in eggs. Most freshly laid eggs are sterile, at least inside, but the shells soon become contaminated by fecal matter from the hen, the cage or nest, wash water if the eggs are washed, handling, the material in which the eggs are packed. The total number of microorganisms per shell of a hen's egg has been reported to range from 10 to the power of 2 to 10 to the power of 7 with a mean of about 10 to the power of 5. The types of microorganisms recovered from the shell are diverse. Salmonella species may be on the shell or in the egg as laid, build up during processing and appear in significant numbers in frozen or dried eggs. Now we will discuss about microorganisms in poultry. The skin of live birds may contain numbers of bacteria averaging 1500 per square. These numbers probably reflect the natural flora of the skin plus other organisms that could be derived from feet, feathers and feces. Feathers, feet of poultry carry heavy contamination of microorganisms. Contamination of the skin and the lining of the body cavity occurs during washing, plucking and evisceration. Chickens are currently processed by a fully automated conveyor or truck line with vacuum evisceration. Bacterial numbers vary considerably on the surface of chickens. This variation, however, is greater between birds than it is between different areas of the same bird. Now we will discuss about microorganisms in meat and meat products. Inner flesh of meat is healthy and contains few or no microorganisms, but lymph nodes, bone marrow contain microorganisms such as Staphylococci, Streptococci, Clostridium and Salmonella. Normal slaughtering practices would remove the lymph nodes from edible parts. Mainly contamination comes from external sources during bleeding, handling, processing, skinning and cutting. Meat and meat products are generally contaminated from the exteriors of the animal such as hide, hooves, hair and intestinal tract. Recently approved humane methods of slaughter, mechanical, chemical and electrical, have little effect on contamination. Exterior of the animal harbors large numbers of many kinds of microorganisms from soil, water, feed and manure, its natural source flora and intestinal contents. Intermediate sources of contaminants includes knives, clothes, air and hands. During handling of meat, thereafter contamination can come from carts, boxes or other containers, other contaminated meat, air and personnel handling them. Chilling storage adds psychotropic bacteria in meat and meat products. Microorganisms generally isolated from meat includes, with regard to bacteria, Acinetobacter, Moraxella, Pseudomonas, Aeromonas, Alkaligenes and Micrococcus. Molds, Cladosporium, Geotrichum, Sporotrichum, Mucor, Thaminidium. Yeast include Candida, Turlopsis and Rhodotorula. Animal feeds are another source of contamination of meat and meat products. This is a source of Salmonella for poultry and other farm animals. It is a known source of L. monocytogenes to dairy and meat animals when fed silage. The organisms in dry animal feed are spread throughout the animal environment and may occur in animal hides, hair, feathers, etc. Animal hides is a source of bacterial contamination, particularly from E. coli, Salmonella, Listeria and some other spurious microorganisms. The hides may contaminate during the slaughter process the general environment, hands of plant employees, skinned carcasses and through dressing procedures. Gastrointestinal tract. The normal intestinal microflora consists of many organisms. Notable among these are pathogens such as Salmonella, Campylobacter and E. coli. Not all of these bacteria are present in every animal species slaughtered in federally inspected established beds. Skin of many meat animals may contain Micrococci, Staphylococci, Streptococci, etc. Pig or beef carcasses may be contaminated with Salmonella. Many of the diseases have been reduced or eliminated by improvement in animal husbandry, but animal disease causing infections from foods include Mycobacterium, Coxiella, Listeria, Salmonella, enteropathogenic E. coli and viruses. Meat from slaughterhouses is not frequently associated with human salmonellosis. Contamination of meat and meat products from employees. The microorganisms on the hands and outer garments of handlers generally reflect the environment and habits of individuals, hygiene, and may come from hides, gastrointestinal tracts, soil, water, dust and other environmental sources. This is generally the source of viruses, primarily norovirus and hepatitis A. During handling and processing, additional contamination may come from equipment coming in contact with foods, from packaging materials and from personnel. From food utensils and equipment also contamination occurs. Utensils may become contaminated during slaughter and processing, such as saws, cutting boards, knives, grinders, mixtures, etc. These surfaces may retain contaminated product when they are not properly cleaned or maintained and therefore serve as a vector for cross contamination. From food ingredients such as spices or seasonings may be contaminated with pathogens. The spice or seasoning can cause illness if it is added to the food product after the lethality treatment. An example of this is salmonella in black pepper used to coat dried sausages. Contamination from air and dust. A variety of bacteria may be found in air and dust in food processing operations. L. monocytogenes is an example of a foodborne pathogen that survives in the environment. As air and dust move through the processing facility, they can transport pathogens. Air does not contain a natural flora of microorganisms, but accidentally they are present in suspended solid material or in moisture droplets. Microorganisms get into air and dust or lint, dry soil, spray from stream, lakes or oceans, droplets of moisture from coughing, sneezing or talking and growth of sporulating molds on floors, etc. Microorganisms in air have no opportunity for growth but merely persist there, and the organisms resistant to desiccations will live longer. Mold spores, because of their small size, resistance to drying and large numbers of permold plant are usually present in air. Cocci are more numerous than rod-shaped bacteria. Yeast, especially Aspergillus chromogenic ones, are found in most samples of air. Number of microorganisms in air at any given time depends on factors like amount of movement, sunshine, humidity, location and the amount of suspended dust or spray. Number of microorganisms vary from mountains to dusty air, less on mountains and more in dusty air. Direct rays from the sun kill microorganisms suspended in air and hence reduce numbers. Dry air contains more organisms than moist air. Rain or snow removes organisms from the air. Number of microorganisms in air may be reduced under natural conditions by sedimentation, sunshine and washing by rain or snow. Filters in ventilating or air conditioning systems prevent the spread of organisms from one part of a plant to another. From condensation. Water droplets that form on overhead structures because of poor air circulation can carry a variety of microorganisms. When droplets contact food or food contact surfaces, the product may be contaminated. Then contamination from sewage. When untreated domestic sewage is used to fertilize plant crops, there is a chance that raw plant foods will be contaminated with human pathogens, especially those causing gastrointestinal diseases. The use of night soil as a fertilizer still persists in some parts of the world. In addition to the pathogens, coliform bacteria, anaerobes, enterococci, other intestinal bacteria and viruses can contaminate the foods from this source. Natural water contaminated with sewage contributes their microorganisms to shellfish, fish and other seafood. Contamination from soil. Soil contains greatest variety of microorganisms. They are ready to contaminate the surfaces of plants growing on or in them and the surfaces of animals roaming over the land. Soil dust is whipped up by air currents and soil particles are carried by running water to get into or onto foods. Soil is an important source of heat resistant spore forming bacteria. Natural water contains not only their natural flora but also microorganisms from soil and possibly from animals or sewage. Surface waters in streams or pools and stored waters have low microbial content because self purification of quiet and ponds are of running water. Groundwaters from springs or wells have passed through layers of rock and soil to a definite level, hence most of the bacteria suspended material have been removed. Kinds of bacteria in natural waters are chiefly of in Pseudomonas, Chromobacterium, Proteus, Micrococcus, Bacillus, Streptococcus, Enterobacter and E. coli. Microorganisms can enter food products through many different routes because they are found virtually everywhere. Thank you.